Riding in Miami, it's a total rush, but we have to be real here. It's one of the most dangerous places in the entire country for bikers. And if a crash happens, those next few hours are just a blur of chaos, confusion, and pain. So what you do in those critical moments can either be your shield or it can leave you completely exposed. Let's break down the guy that can honestly save your health and your entire financial future.
And I want you to really read that because it is not an exaggeration. The stakes are just immense. The choices you're forced to make in the first day or two can have absolutely life-altering consequences. We're not just talking about a wrecked bike here. We're talking about your health, your job, your family, your whole life.
Okay, so the crash just happened, everything is noise and confusion. What is the absolute first thing you need to do? Well, your instinct is right. Safety. Get yourself and anyone else out of harm's way. But the second you are clear of immediate danger, your mindset has to do a 180. You need to flip a switch and become an evidence gatherer, because what you do in these next few moments can literally make or break your entire case.
Now, assuming you're physically able to, you have 3 critical jobs. First, after you get to safety, you need to be the one to call 911. Never ever assume someone else has already done it. Second, when the police show up, you give them only the hard, objective facts. No, I'm sorry, no guessing about what happened. And third, you need to become your own investigator. Pull out your phone. The photos you take of the scene, the damage, your injuries, that silent evidence might just be the most powerful weapon you have.
All right, let's talk about something your own body does that can seriously work against you. It's called the adrenaline trap. After a violent impact, your body just dumps adrenaline into your system. It's a survival thing, right? But it's also an incredibly powerful painkiller. You might actually feel fine, just a little shaky, while you could have broken bones or even internal bleeding. And that's why this rule on the screen is non-negotiable. You never, ever, ever refuse a medical assessment from the EMTs at the scene, no matter how good you think you feel.
And getting checked out right away. It isn't just about your health. It's also the very first and maybe most important block in building your legal case. See, in the world of insurance claims, if a doctor didn't write it down, it basically didn't happen. Every single doctor's visit, every report, every prescription, it all becomes a piece of the puzzle, proving that your injuries are real and they are a direct result of that crash.
And this is exactly why you have to get to a doctor immediately. Insurance companies literally have a playbook, and one of their go-to moves is this gap in treatment argument. If you wait a few days or a week to see a doctor, they will absolutely argue that you must have gotten hurt after the crash. They'll say, oh, maybe you hurt your back at the gym, or you probably did it lifting groceries. It sounds absurd, I know, but it's an effective tactic. You can't give them that ammunition.
So you might think a crash is a crash, right? A vehicle is a vehicle. Nope, not in Florida. If you are on a motorcycle, you're playing by a completely different and frankly a much tougher set of rules. Just assuming that the law treats your motorcycle crash the same as a car crash, well, that's a massive and potentially very expensive mistake.
And here it is. This is the single biggest legal difference, and it's a huge shock for most riders. Just look at the 2 columns. For cars, Florida's a no-fault state. That means your own personal injury protection, your PIP insurance, covers your first $10,000 in medical bills no matter who's at fault. But look at the motorcycle column. That rule does not apply. There is no PIP coverage. That means from the very second you hit the pavement, you are 100% reliant on the at-fault driver's insurance to pay for every single thing.
Okay, here's another piece of legal jargon you have to understand. Modified comparative negligence. It sounds complicated, but the idea is pretty simple. It's just how the law divides up the blame. So let's say a car makes a left turn right in front of you, but maybe you were going just a few miles over the speed limit. A jury might say, okay, the driver was 80% at fault, but the biker was 20% at fault. Your final compensation would then get reduced by your 20%. It's a system of shared blame.
But that system of shared blame has a brutal, unforgiving cliff. Look at that number, 51%. If a jury decides you're 50% at fault, you get half of your damages. But if they decide you are just 1 single percentage point more to blame, 51%, your compensation drops to 0, zilch, nothing. It is an all or nothing rule. And you can bet that the insurance adjuster's entire goal is to find a way to push you over that 50% line.
And if you're thinking you can just take your time to deal with all this, think again. The clock is ticking, and it's ticking twice as fast as it used to. Florida has literally cut the statute of limitations, that's the deadline you have to file a lawsuit, in half. It used to be 4 years, as you can see, now it's just 2. And trust me, that is not a lot of time to build a complex injury case. So the urgency is very, very real.
So you're at home trying to recover and the phone rings. It's the insurance adjuster from the other driver's company. And I guarantee you, they will sound like the nicest, most helpful, most sympathetic person in the world. But you have to remember their one and only job, to protect their company's money by paying you as little as humanly possible. They are not your friend.
And one of the very first things they're going to ask for is a recorded statement, just to get your side of the story. It sounds completely reasonable, right? You want to tell them what happened, set the record straight. But should you do it? This is a really critical moment.
The answer you see on the screen is your answer. Decline. Politely, but firmly. You have zero legal obligation to give them a recorded statement. These adjusters are trained professionals. They know how to ask leading questions to trip you up. You might casually say, "I'm feeling okay," and months later they will twist that into, "See, the injuries weren't that severe." Don't walk into their trap.
Their other big tactic is the quick check. An offer for a few $1,000s might land in your lap just days after the crash. And look, when you're out of work and the bills are piling up, that is incredibly tempting. But it is a trap. The moment you sign that release, it's over. It's final. If a month later your doctor tells you that you need a $50,000 surgery on your spine because of the crash, too bad. You can't go back and ask for more. That small check just cost you everything.
So when you put it all together, the adrenaline trap, the gap in treatment, the 51% rule, all of it, what does it all add up to? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Every single one of these steps we've talked about is about one thing: protecting your future. A serious motorcycle crash isn't just a bad day. It can be a life-changing event, and being prepared, being smart is your only real defense.
And this is why trying to handle a serious injury claim on your own is just so incredibly risky. The insurance company has a team, lawyers, investigators, professional negotiators, all working against your claim from minute one. You need a team on your side too. You need experts who can pull data from a car's black box, doctors who can map out your future medical needs, and people who know how to calculate what it really costs to lose your ability to work for the rest of your life.
So, we end with this question. In the chaos, right after a crash, the other driver is protecting themselves. The insurance company is protecting its profits. So who is protecting your future? The only real answer is you. And the best way to do that is to be prepared before you even start the engine. Know these rules, understand the game, and be ready to fight for the future you deserve.